How do you do? We're about to unfold the story of Frankenstein. It is one of the strangest tales ever told. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. Well, we've warned you.
Consider yourself warned. Welcome back to the Frankenstein Minute, the podcast where we dissect the Universal Frankenstein films minute by minute. I'm Bill Evenson.
And I'm Thom Lang, and we are now at minute 35 of 1931's Frankenstein, where we can see the influence Fritz has over the monster, and it's not good.
No, that's true. Things seemed a lot more peaceful. There was a sense of maybe danger on the part of Waldman. Waldman was
a little
not
cautionary,
happy, very cautious. If Henry was here by himself at this point, and I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be,
everything would be fine.
Everything would have turned out great.
A whole different movie.
It
would have led right to the Munsters without any sequels.
Right to the Munsters. Perfect. If Grandpa had been there, that would have been
fine.
But yeah, it's bad, and it gets bad. So this is that.
Well, it's bad. It gets worse. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it gets much worse. So there's this struggle, and the monster chucks Van Sloan into a Tesla coil and has just about knocks it over. And there's that realism we were talking about. It makes it look real.
Yeah, well, this
raw.
whole fight looks very unstaged. It looks very unchoreographed. It's a time. It's like a fight would be, where people are stumbling around, just sort of groping, and there's not these choreographed punches and movie fights seldom look real.
Oh yeah,
this one does.
Do you like the Indiana Jones movies?
Oh, I love the Indiana Jones
they're
movies.
Great movies. I love them to pieces. But there's a great part in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
I don't like that one.
That one's the least favorite one. For me, it's the least favorite one.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people don't like the most recent one.
I prefer that over Temple of Doom.
I like to watch it. But Temple of Doom's good. And there's a point where she has gone down into the fire pit, the lava pit, whatever, and she comes back up, and then she's sort of groggy, and she barely slaps Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones, in the face, and it makes this noise. And I always think about that because it makes me think about what those fights are like. I wish they hadn't done that, because I think I could still regain my innocence. Because if you watch Raiders of the Lost Ark and just listen to the sound, every gun is a cannon. You know what I mean? The sound is just so...
Yeah.
And that's what movie fights are.
Right.
And this is the opposite of Raiders of the Lost Ark. The fights are magnificent. They're joy to behold.
Right.
But they're not
like a real fight.
This is real.
Yeah.
This feels more real.
This feels, like guys desperately trying to...
desperately trying to
subdue this monster, and there's not like this sort of, well, you do that and I'll do this, and sort of these unspoken choreography.
Star Wars prequels.
Oh yeah,
They're some
of the worst.
Theoretically, there are fights in the Star Wars prequels, but they're dancing, and
they are,
and for what they are, they're good.
Well, I can't agree that you get Yoda bouncing around like a fucking ping pong ball.
It's something I'll never forgive, what you're talking about, Not the fact that you're talking about it, although that's bad enough.
That's bad enough that I even brought it up.
That you brought it up. I gotta take a moment.
We'll be right back.
But
I'll put in the commercial for Monster Kid Radio here.
Yeah, there you go. So we've got there's a real sort of visceral quality that comes along with just looking at movies that were made during a time when the safety of the actors wasn't
always a big concern. Yeah.
Is this Tesla coil gonna fall on me?
Yeah, it looked like
probably
it
will.
Looked like it almost does. Yeah,
that'll be good too.
Yeah, and he writes it, but it's still kind of wobbly.
It's very easily could fall over. Strickfaden's like, whoa!
Hey, that thing cost $30.
I went 80.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was Depression era.
I went inflation.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
True. Good point. Depression.
Yeah.
This guy was doing that in the Depression. he owned all that stuff, right? Strickfaden?
Yeah, I believe so.
I mean, when it was all said and done, he owned it.
Yeah, because it always shows up. He would lease it out. He leased it to Mel Brooks in '75, or 4, I guess.
Because of all the stuff that they kept, they didn't keep that. Like we've been talking about for months.
Yeah,
the sets.
Yeah,
they kept all this stuff.
Yeah, it shows up again and again in other movies. Certainly, the Cellar that we'll see. Mm-hmm. So I can throw this note out for the next minute. Okay. But the Cellar that we'll see was reused in Murders in the Rue Morgue as Dr. Miracles, or however you say that, his laboratory.
That's the scene I think about. When we talk about that movie, I know I don't like it. Yeah. And then there's that scene.
Yeah.
That's
it has its moments. Yeah. It has its moments. They're far between, but
well, that scene doesn't last long enough.
No, it doesn't.
I shouldn't say that. It's a pretty brutal. Well, we've talked about it again already.
Yeah. We can do the
Murders of the Rue Morgue minute.
No.
We could do it, but we wouldn't ever finish. We would get whenever that scene ends.
Yeah, okay, well, it's all downhill from
We're
here.
on hiatus.
Yeah.
Indefinite hiatus.
Right.
You use the term subdued, but ultimately the monster is reasonably easily subdued.
Well, it looks to me like there's something missing.
Okay.
Like something was cut out, not after the fact, but during the actual editing of the film.
Yeah.
It goes from the wide shot to then there's sort of a close-up almost of Waldman sort of does an old white guy karate chop on the monsters.
Hit him with something.
Oh, maybe he does.
I thought he had like a stick or something.
Okay, maybe that's it. But then the next shot he's on the floor.
Where does he hit him?
Like the square of his.
That's what I
between
think.
His shoulder blades.
And I think that maybe the only thing I can come up with is they're trying to make us think he hit him in the head.
Yeah.
Because you hit somebody in the head.
Yeah.
Then a headshot.
I've had a concussion. I know it's not a fun.
Right, yeah, of course.
Not a fun thing.
No, not at all. Not you go down.
You do go down and hard.
Yeah. Absolutely. Not like getting hit in the
between the shoulder blades.
Let's get this out in the open. Sure. You hit me just about anywhere and I'm going down. I'm not trying to be a badass here. People have stepped on my foot and I started crying.
He's on the floor, he's out.
But I guess, you look at what this is, when you look at what appears to be happening here, it doesn't look like this guy's going to go down from getting smacked in the back.
No, I don't think so. And I think some stuff was cut just for time.
Yeah.
Just to speed it up.
There's nothing in the script that helps us here.
Not really. They struggle, and it's not spelled out specifically.
Okay.
Some things are very, very, very specific, and other things aren't, as most scripts
and that probably adds to that realism we're talking about.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out when we get there. You guys just wrestle.
Wrestle around for a while.
Dwight, your job is to get that fire way too close to everybody.
Yeah.
Safety last.
Yeah, that's exactly. It's right in there.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're sitting at the Belong Dead Studios. We're near the S's.
Yeah.
Yes, we're near the S's in
the vast collection.
Yeah, we're gonna go through all of these minute by minute. We're gonna be a million years old.
Yeah, somehow I don't think. Oh, what do we got here? Could you do a Punch Drunk Love minute?
I don't know why you would pick that. I love that movie.
I like that movie a lot.
I would totally do Punch Drunk
you could.
Love
Rooster Cogburn?
No, I don't even know that I've ever seen it.
All right.
Is it even a movie? Was it a TV
It's right here,
movie?
yeah. It's a sequel to True Grit.
Well, it came in a box set.
Did it? Oh, okay.
But, or maybe it didn't. But I think it did. Is it a TV movie? Or is it an actual movie?
No, it was an actual movie.
Is it good?
It looks like a TV movie.
Oh, all right. I could do Psycho Minute.
I could do Psycho Minute. I could do Psycho 2,
yep.
Psycho 3 Minute.
Yeah, Psycho 4.
Psycho 4 is not.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes Minute I could do.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Halloween Minute I could do.
Yeah, up through like the
third. I don't know why I say that. I couldn't do it. I don't want to do any of that.
But you could.
I could. Under duress.
Could you do
some of these are already being
Happy
done,
Gilmore Minute?
Probably not.
Okay.
It's got some great minutes. It's not on the shelf by mistake.
I'm just going to be leaving now.
Oh, no. Happy Gilmore has some great minutes.
See,
Don't make me defend my fucking Adam Sandler collection.
Your
Adam
definition
Sandler
of great and mine.
Listen to me. Adam Sandler is a blight on humanity.
Thank you.
But you've mentioned two movies that I love that star Adam Sandler. Happy Gilmore and Punch Drunk Love.
Punch Drunk Love I like.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
All right. Oh.
But he's not doing...
Calm down.
He's not doing his usual Adam Sandler shtick throughout.
Yeah. Well,
that's why it's good. That's why it's good.
Punch Drunk Love shows, it's a tragedy.
Yeah.
Because that's what he should be doing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Having said that, I like Happy Gilmore. What can I do?
All right.
I haven't seen it in a long time. Maybe if I watch it again, I'll hate it. Does that make you feel better?
Is Billy Madison up there somewhere?
I don't think I have Billy Madison, no. All right, so we should be okay.
Fascinating stuff for the listeners.
I have the Black Doll.
Oh. Blood Simple. You can't go wrong with that.
Blood Simple.
Anyway. This will all get cut.
All right, well, let's stop it. Shoot it. It's a monster.
Oh, before that.
Oh, go ahead.
Before that, does Waldman really tell the monster to stop kicking?
I guess he does.
It's one of the subtitles, and I'd never heard it before.
It sounds like he says it.
Because it says stop kicking. So is that a thing to Karloff or to the character?
If it's to Karloff, that's not good. If it's to the monster, that's stupid.
It's a really dumb thing to say.
But maybe, all right, I'll say this.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll say this. If you're wrestling with someone in real life, if you were confronted with this situation in real life, and I, again, am not ever going to. I'm not going to subdue a monster or anybody.
Probably not.
But if I were subduing somebody and it was difficult like that and they were struggling, I might just say it sort of.
You sort of, yeah.
I sort of like, stop kicking.
Hey, yeah.
Fuck. There'd be more swearing.
Yeah. Well, this was 1931, so.
That's right. So this is the best they could do. Stop kicking was the equivalent of swearing.
You son of a bitch.
That's right. Then shoot it. It's a monster. Are we there yet? Okay. Yeah. So what I think is great about that is absolutely nothing monstrous has happened.
No, I think it was
Waldman's reaction, and you've talked about it since day one.
Yeah.
He's a reactionary.
Yeah.
His reactions to what's going on are always, this is just one more.
Yeah.
Shoot it. It's a monster because he's swatted at a fucking torch that was put in his face.
I think the monster's reaction to Fritz and the torch is perfectly reasonable.
Completely appropriate.
I would do the same thing. If
he's been kept in complete darkness.
And then some idiot is jabbing a torch in my face. Yeah, I'd kind of freak out a little bit too.
Yep. That's what we have to go on. Yeah. Shoot it. It's a monster.
Yeah, well, it's another in a long line, and there's more to come.
Yeah,
of Waldman being a little reactionary.
Yeah, he's maybe better. He might do better with me if he were to approach it from a more philosophical standpoint and say this is an abomination.
Right.
But maybe that's wrong with the thing with the word monster.
Watching this, I watched the movie yesterday. Mm. And then I watched Bride because I had it on as I was doing some things.
Okay.
Because all I do all day is sit and watch movies.
Yeah.
One thing I thought would be really interesting, and it's never going to happen, but you get the impression, since Waldman was his professor at the university, as was Pretorius, that they were colleagues. These two people couldn't be more different. So they clearly had to travel in the same circles. It'd be interesting for me to see the two of them against one another.
God, it never occurred to me that was in the same place. But yeah, unless it wasn't. I suppose it's theoretically possible it wasn't the same place.
I guess it's possible, but as far as we know, that is the only university Henry went to.
So, wait a minute. Pretorius was his professor?
Yes, this is my old professor from the university, but and then Pretorius said, booted is the word.
That's right. Right. You just quoted that.
I quoted it, a week or two ago?
Probably a week or two ago. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Now look what you've opened up.
Yep.
Now I'm going to write fanfic.
Well, there we go.
We should make a fan edit. You ever see these fan edits?
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, the most famous one is the
Phantom edit.
Edit. Yeah. Phantom Menace tried to make it into a movie. I don't know why you'd bother.
Well, I've seen one where they took all three and made it into like one
90
minute, and I could probably watch that.
I could probably watch it, but I can watch them now.
See, I've done them each once, and that's enough for me.
I just think they're fundamentally flawed in so many different ways. There's nothing to be rescued.
So many things wrong. Oh God, no, that didn't just happen. Anyway.
Yep, they've already done that one. It's called Star Wars Minute.
We owe a debt of gratitude to them. Yes,
we don't need to.
We don't need to visit that.
We don't. But it would be interesting to try and put an edit together that if you could somehow make it seem like Waldman and Pretorius were in the same room.
Yeah.
They didn't even appear together, right? Because you got, after this movie, you've got Old Dark House.
Yeah.
You've got The Ghoul. You've got Dracula's Daughter. You've got The Mummy. And you never quite work something out with all of those.
Maybe Don Glut could do a continuity that would bring that all together.
Oh, my God, Don. Work on that.
If you're out there,
call us. Call us.
Give us a call here at the Belong Dead Studios.
That's right. Belong Dead Productions, Inc.
We're in the book.
We're in the book.
Is there even
That's an interesting phrase. You haven't heard that in a long time.
Is there even a phone book anymore?
I don't know. They don't drop it off at my doorstep.
Yeah. Anyway.
And they did just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think there was a few years ago, but now, I mean...
I think they do, because I haven't even lived here 2 years and we got one. So,
okay.
I think there is this...
Now that I think it...
We can breathe easy. There is a phone book, but I think it's essentially the Yellow Pages.
It's the Yellow Pages,
I'm sure it's not. I'm sure my number is not printed in a book.
Well, you don't have a landline, do you?
I guess not.
So,
I have numerous equivalents, but no, I don't have a landline per se. Yeah. Okay.
So you don't have an electrical machine?
An electrical machine. That's what I have. An electrical machine which enables me to hear and speak
to. Right.
Quiet.
It's a great set. That dungeon cellar set. I love that set.
We talked about it.
Well, we talked about last week as being
because it's where I had talked about this iconic shot of Karloff with that window at the strange.
Oh, right, and that's that window in the back of that set. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't remember if we see that window in this shot.
Well, you see a wide shot of it, and the window's in the middle of the frame, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
that's very Caligari, very.
Oh, there isn't a right angle to be found.
Yeah, it's nuts.
There's painted shadows. That window. If you look at stills, it's very evident.
Yeah. I noticed there's a beam.
The beams are at a weird, wonky angle. Yeah.
Basically, we're at the bottom of an old abandoned watchtower that is about to fall over.
It is. In fact, the script refers to the beams as sagging under the weight of the building.
Sure, that's about right.
Yeah, it should be damp. It appears to be dusty, which works as well. But you would think it'd be kind of dank,
right?
Musty smelling in there, and the monster probably doesn't smell the greatest.
Yeah, as you've said before, maybe he's smelling better. I don't know.
Well, he had 2 days Henry had 2 days to clean him up in the darkened room. I assume this is the darkened room that he kept him in.
Good point. And that the window is not covered.
Some light in.
Yeah.
Unless it's like facing...
Is that a continuity error?
Maybe it's facing north and it doesn't get a whole lot of light.
In Minnesota, we know a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Get as much light as some other areas.
Yeah, right.
Depending on where you're at.
And then, of course, in my house, most of the windows face north. So
perfect.
Yeah.
So, Fritz yells... Wait, is this the one? Yeah, he says,
quiet!
And
because you see the monster raging at the beginning of the scene, doing that, again, iconic...
Yeah, actually, that's right. At that point, he's rocking back and forth.
Yeah, he's
doing this
out of his mind.
He's holding his chains. He's in chains, and he's rocking back and forth like a child.
Like a toddler, having a temper tantrum almost.
It's so amazingly sympathetic, every choice he makes with this monster.
Well,
it's like you give Boris Karloff a role. He doesn't know any better than to just do the best he possibly can, and so he's bringing
the right choices. Yeah,
he's bringing so much to it. I'm going to rock back and forth because I'm a toddler.
It's the perfect example of an actor losing themselves completely in the role.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
There's not anything that suggests this guy was a genteel Englishman who would stop at 4 o'clock to have tea. Yeah. Nothing about it indicates that. He's completely lost in the role, completely abandons himself for particularly this moment where he's just completely in that brain, in that
headspace.
Yeah.
Which is nowhere. I'm totally innocent. I do not understand what's happening.
No
I
comprehension.
don't understand at all what's going on.
What happened? Who am I? I don't even
see the chain, so I will pull on.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's the best. That's all I have.
It's an again, just another part of an amazing, amazing, amazing performance. I can't stress enough how good he is in that role.
It's like Adam Sandler in Punch Drunk Love.
It is. It's almost as good. It's almost on par.
So I'm picturing Fritz comes down and he's like, quiet!
Yeah.
So
that's really helpful,
is what I've decided to happen. Yeah, I mean, it's a mess. So what I think happens is they're upstairs, and Henry, by this point, is distraught. Yeah. He's changed already. Yeah. And I'm picturing him upstairs going, God, monster's making all this noise. And Fritz is like, leave it to me. Because that's like his tagline. Yeah. He's always like, leave it to me. And he runs down, quiet! Like that's going to help.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think that was ever spoken between the two of them. I think Henry is, again, lost in himself. Yeah. And Fritz is like, he just takes it upon himself. I got this.
Fritz
he doesn't show the best judgment.
He's competent.
Yeah.
It's like, Fritz, can you give me a brain that has ample convolutions in the frontal lobe? Leave it to me. Cool, Fritz.
Yeah. All right.
So then So then Henry comes in, and one of the things he says is he's got the strength of 10 men.
Well, before that, I was going to point out, because I've got that written down too,
okay.
This is the first scene in the Flory script where you encounter the monster. There's a big build-up going through the village of people hearing this roaring and yelling from the monster in the Flory script, and people crossing themselves.
Can I just say that's stupid?
Yeah, you can, because it completely is. And it goes like from house to house, and it's like several pages in the script, and like, this is a waste of time.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of it in the shooting script that they wisely cut out. But that's in reference to Henry, you'll get the whole countryside on us.
Yes.
Is what he's referring to, is that the noise is obviously carrying out over the valley.
Yeah. And who's he talking to specifically when he says that? I think he's talking about both. He's talking about the situation. He's not saying the monster.
He's not saying it specifically to either character. Yeah. I think it's just his frustration.
Maybe saying it to
Fritz a little bit, but I think he's just frustrated. Like,
yeah,
this is not how I planned this. This isn't what I was expecting this to play out like.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he takes the whip, and he turns with the whip, and he is absolutely about to use the whip. There's a moment where there's a brief moment where he thinks about it.
This is where child abuse comes in, It's that knowing when to not take the whip.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess he's the winner here.
Yeah,
he succeeds. But it is interesting to think that he deliberately takes the whip from Fritz, which is absolutely the right choice.
Right. Always take the whip from Fritz.
Always.
Yes.
Always do that one. But then to turn, maybe he doesn't even think about it. Maybe he doesn't even realize it. But it really does seem like he does think about using it.
I kind of thought he was like going to use it on Fritz, too.
Well, that would have been something.
You idiot.
This could have easily changed directions.
It could have, yes.
It could have been the monster and Henry against Fritz.
Yes.
I'll take the whip. Here, let me get these chains.
Yeah, yeah. Then when Henry leaves, he shows genuine remorse. I think part of it is exhaustion. Mm-hmm. But he's like, leave it alone.
Yeah, the pronoun is definitely there.
Leave it alone. Well, he says he has the strength of 10 men.
Okay. There's a bit back and forth.
Yeah, there's a little back and forth. Which I couldn't hear that line for years. Because it's kind of said in the midst of the struggle and the monster's making a bunch of noise and you don't hear it clearly.
Okay.
It wasn't until just, 10 years ago or so that I first noticed it.
Yeah.
Because that comes into play in some of the sequels. Be careful, he's got the strength of 10 men.
It's canon now.
It is.
Yeah.
And, you don't really see a whole lot of evidence for that in some of the sequels, but here...
The karate chop that brought him down in this minute. Yeah. And if he's got the strength of 10 men, we haven't seen any evidence of it.
Not yet.
He's in these chains.
Yeah. I don't think you see a lot of evidence of it until the sequel, actually.
I know. It's a very similar idea. He's in chains in the sequel.
Yeah.
It doesn't play
does not have the same
way. I was going to say it doesn't play out so well, but this isn't
But
good
we'll find
either.
out in the next minute that he has managed to free himself from the chains. So
okay, good point.
I just think he hasn't quite figured it out yet. You don't know your own strength when you're a child.
Sure.
I don't know my own strength now.
And thank goodness. In polite society, I think it's a good thing
not to
that you
know
don't know your own strength.
Right.
Or maybe in some ways it's a bad thing.
Well, it depends on what you're doing. If you're trying to lift a car off of somebody that's been hit, then it's probably you should know.
What a disappointment when you can't.
Right. Come on!
Ow! And the person's like, help me. And you're like, no, help me.
Help me. I hurt my back.
Some sympathy for me here.
It's all about me.
It's all about me. That's it.
That's the end? That's the end? Oh, okay. Well, I just found it interesting that he switches pronouns again like that.
Yeah.
He has the strength of 10 men, but leave it alone.
Yeah. Well, it is interesting. I hadn't noticed that. Once again, the pronoun thing, I guess I hadn't quite seen that it was doing that much. But leave it alone is definitely significant.
Yeah.
And it's played that way. That angle is played that way. The way he plays it, the way he's, everything that's happening as he's saying it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
I've got to figure this out.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck to do.
It's like an Arrested Development. I've made a terrible mistake.
Yes. Yeah.
Only not funny.
Yeah. Right. And I don't know what to do.
You don't know what to do. Yeah.
I don't know what to do at all. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
I don't know if the whole countryside is going to come down on us, but you're not helping. You
really.
Just leave it alone. I don't know. Give me a month to think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really, it's only been a few minutes. Well, I guess
we don't know.
But
we don't know how much time has elapsed from when they subdued the monster and put him in chains to when this is taking place.
Yeah, true.
It could be another couple of days, but Waldman is still there.
Yep.
He's got nothing better to do. Maybe he's on sabbatical from the university.
I guess so.
Or it's summer when they don't have class. I don't know.
Oh, man, that sounds nice. To get, what do you call it? What's that called when you...
Hiatus?
No, when you, crying out loud. It's an easy word. When you've been around long enough.
Oh, you're tenured?
Tenured. I'm going to take 18 months off and help this guy with his monster and his dwarf.
Dwarf in the watchtower.
In the watchtower / windmill. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.